Welcome back, everybody, to the fourth season of Sake Drinker and Friends and the beautiful Napa Valley, full of friends and a lot of booze. Today we have a pretty special show. I want to tell everybody we're streaming live on YouTube, and then later on it's going to be available thanks to Susan and the magic of ToutSuite and live streaming. Today we have a very special guest. We have somebody that's been our neighbors for years. And they've definitely been essential in the transformation of downtown Napa with the help of everybody that's been supporting the community. And he needs no introduction. He's an amazing chef, lately brewmaster. He's headed Bottle Rock Culinary for a couple years now. And without further ado, let's all put a round of applause for Tyler Rodde. Welcome, chef.
Thank you.
Welcome. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Man, it's so exciting to have you here after 2 years of show and a little bit of footage. I want to say we've been training for all this time to have you on the show and have your expertise and contagious artist into the food and the beverage world. So,
awesome.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Let's tell us a little bit about you. What you doing these days?
So, got a new project that we're starting here. Hope to be open by the end of the year. It's called Tannery Bend Beer Works. It's going to be at 101 South Coombs at the end of Coombs in the old tannery. We've got a couple of beers that we're producing right now. We've got a Saison, we've got an IPA, we've got a Candy Cap Mushroom Doppelweizen. We're doing the fun and the funky, so we like to mix it up and have fun.
Should we taste it real quick?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, as you know, in Japan, if you refer to sake, sake refers to
please.
all beverage, not only Nihonshu, which is sake per se. So, hey, with that in mind, we'll start with a little beer, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so this is our Saison. It's 5.2% alcohol. It's got Cascade hops, a little bit of Meyer lemon zest from our garden, floor malted barley. It's delicious.
That's something that I've really always appreciated, and it's contagious what you guys do at the restaurant and now into the brewery. It's incorporating the gardens and all the whole aspect to it. Daniel, thank you, sir. Please feel free to have a little sip. And, sorry, two more, just for fun. And we'll get to enjoy it. So you said you're doing 4 different beers for now?
For right now, we're doing 4 different beers,
Nice.
but we plan to open it up and change beers as frequently as possible.
Beautiful.
We're taking a very different approach to beer. We think that when you're cooking, you always look for local, seasonal, fresh ingredients, and beer should be the same way. We live in a bountiful neighborhood that's got like 9 different climates, I think, in the Napa Valley.
Yeah,
out of the
absolutely.
13 that are
Yeah, it has all the layers, all the soils, all the microclimates.
So we can grow anything we want, so why not incorporate that into our beer?
Totally. Hey, for all the friends and future friends and everybody joining us, Jay, thanks for joining everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers, Julio. Cheers, Chef. Thanks for sharing.
My pleasure.
Wow, that is tasty. Very thirst quenching.
Absolutely.
I do want to say a little thing. We are in a working restaurant right at 630 in Main Street, Napa, so there might be a little background noise. We are not making it up. They're actually doing some fun prepping back there and such. We also have a little treat. Chef Chris, if we're ready, we're actually gonna, I wanted to do a little something fun. Starting with the sake, we'll do a little sparkling sake because we have something special to celebrate this week. And this is a fun project by the Dasai family. These guys are like the Auntie Noris of Japan, and they're always pushing the envelopes. They're doing a Daiginjo sparkling Nigori. So Daiginjo, you have the highest polishing on the rice, so it gets a little more aromatic, cleaner style. And then you have Nigori, which means the lees have been reintroduced, or cloudy sake. And also, you have a sparkling, as you can see, so it's quite a celebration. And we'll pour a little bit of here, and we'll pass it around. And then we'll tell you what we're celebrating.
Awesome.
And chef, in the meantime, you want to tell us a little bit about the dish you brought? One of the dishes you brought.
I brought 3 dishes. I don't know where to start. Where do you think we should start?
Well, let's start with this one. This is really artistic and pretty fun.
Awesome. So we've got our beet pasado, roasted Brentwood sweet corn, some avocado, some cherry tomatoes from the garden, pea shoots from the garden. It's just a play on summer. We're at the end of summer here, and I feel like the best way to express it is everything that we've got growing in the garden.
Everybody needs to get a little look at this baby. So when you think about fresh ingredients and just, as you said, right out of the garden.
It's fresh food cooked simply. And then it's the way that you play with it and you think about ingredients, because when you're cooking, you want to think about texture and flavor, and you want to think about them in the broadest terms possible. Once you start to cook, you change the way you think. It's no longer a list of ingredients, but it's what kind of flavor profile do you want to exhibit? Where do you want to go? What direction do you want to go? Do you want to have crunch? Do you want to have acid? Do you want to have richness? Do you want to have bitterness? Do you want to have sweetness? How do you want those to play? How do you want people to eat those foods? And so when we're creating dishes at the restaurant, that's what we're doing. We say, okay, we change the menu every day. We don't really have rules to what should go on the menu, as long as we stick with traditional Italian cookery. So it's cooking food very simply. It's cucina prevera, right?
Exactly.
And this is that. This is what we're doing.
You want to tell me what you were just telling me, or you tell your cooks when they're plating and having fun with the dishes?
You want to be able. Oh, I can't even remember what I just said.
You're channeling.
Yeah, I'm channeling my inner Bob Ross. I've been a huge fan of Bob Ross. Huge fan of Bob Ross. I actually fall asleep listening to him, and I'm like, there is no mistakes. There's only happy accidents, right? Something that was going to be a mountain now becomes a tree, and you just move on with that. When you're thinking about it and you're engaged in the process of cooking, then you can make those changes, and you can say, okay, instead of going that direction, we're going to go this direction.
Totally.
That way you're never wrong.
And you can see it reflected. It's totally an honest, fun dish where it's exciting. So, without further ado, we should probably try it. Let's go ahead and try it. So, chef,
Please.
let's see how it works with the sparkling wine first.
Awesome.
Sparkling sake per se. And then we'll pass it all around. Wow, that's a beautiful dish.
Yeah.
Cheers, everybody.
Wow.
Definitely the acidity of the tomatoes are always a really good friend of sake.
Brings out a lot of richness, and it really coats the back, like mid palate, and
Just lingers.
yeah.
Very exciting. Let me pass this one around and we'll make it happen. Thanks, Oenotri. Appreciate it. Wow, that is pretty exciting. Yeah, I mean, the sake has this least quality to it and a touch of sweetness, very perceptual sweetness. But once it's interacting with, especially the, is it watercress or you said arugula?
Pea spreads.
Pea spread.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a new
Pea
one
shoots
for
from
me.
the garden.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is really pretty. And the corn popping out.
The corn, the sweetness kind of overlay with one another and give a nice,
Totally.
nice flavor
Wow.
profile.
That is pretty. Tell us where your gardens are again.
So we're actually farming 3 different gardens right now. We're trying to consolidate, but we've got gardens at 101 First Street, which is the old across from the old Copia. We've got roughly an acre there now, and then we've got about 5 acres at the end of Hagen Road, and another 2 acres off of East Avenue.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've got an aggressive farming program. We try and grow at peak season. Like right now, we're producing about 80% of our own produce for the restaurant, which is, it's an aggressive goal. I'd love to get to 100%, but it just takes a ton of land, and we are a tiny restaurant.
Wow. That's impressive. So seasonally, you go transforming with the seasons, and ideally, you have no gaps, and you mostly source from there.
Exactly. So if we're not sourcing from the garden, we're sourcing from the Marin Farmers Market. I think it's one of the premier markets in the Bay Area. You've got 50 different growers coming from Davis all the way down to Gilroy.
Yeah.
Thursday is the who's of the culinary world.
Wow. very exciting. It is great. I mean, it's something that you don't always have in New York, even in some places in the Midwest and whatnot. You don't have that beauty, and people come to Napa all the time to dine and taste the wine and go around town, and certainly trying those fresh ingredients. I know people that come for vacation and they taste, wow, I've never tasted a tomato like this. I didn't know that
Absolutely.
tomatoes tasted like that, because at the grocery store, it's a whole other thing that you can't really appreciate until you have it.
Absolutely. Local organic farmers are picking between 7 and 14 days later than the conventional farmers. And so you just have riper fruit, riper vegetables. It's more flavorful.
It's very exciting. Wow. What do you guys think of the sake? You enjoy the pairing?
Worked well.
Yeah, it's really fun. I love it. And if we have a little treat from the back, we can. Wow. Tell us about your wife. You just got married recently, Lawrence. You're very lucky, and she's very lucky, and you guys really complement together. She runs the restaurant.
We've been together 9 years. Coming up next month. Got married a little bit over a year and a half ago, and it's been a heck of a ride. We built a restaurant together, and that's one of the most challenging things to do, I think.
And Lauren's watching right now, so everybody please say
hello.
Hi, Lauren.
She's running the show right now.
Somebody had to run the show. It's very exciting. She's taking one for the team tonight.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I'll be there to relieve you soon, honey.
And remind me again, how many years you guys been open?
We were 6.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 7 years in
like
March.
that.
It goes quick. Goes very quickly.
Totally, and it's going strong. I mean, there's no slowing down for you guys.
Absolutely not. Wouldn't have it any other way.
No, not at all. You're still doing the program, what's it called? Govino, or what was it called? Cochino.
Yeah.
Are you still doing that?
We are still doing the Cochino program. We've got 3 different levels. We've got our Classico, Rosso, and Reserva. The Classico is a white and a red at $40 for 2 bottles every quarter. The Rosso is 2 bottles every quarter for $65, and the Reserva is anywhere between $100 and $120 for 1 to 2 bottles every quarter. It's just fun. When in Napa, you're inundated with Napa wine, and at the restaurant, we've found that Italian wine pairs really well. And there's such a wide berth of Italian wines. The varietals are just numerous, and the flavor profiles come together really well with Italian food.
Absolutely.
So we like to have it as a simple introduction to more Italian wine.
Yeah, there's nothing not to like about Italian wines and the whole food and beverage world. Well, speaking about Italian wines, we'll taste another sake.
Awesome.
Why not? We'll taste the sake now that it's a repeat in our show, and there's no secret. It's one of my all-time favorites. As a matter of fact, 3 weeks ago now, I went to visit the brewery, which was a live stream for me. This producer is called Ishishima, and they are located in Shibata town, which is in the Niigata prefecture on the western side. And we'll do a quick intermission, and if everybody can help me sing happy birthday to Susan, because this week Susan had a birthday, and she has been the producer making this show happen for 2 years now. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Susan. Happy birthday to you. Cheers, Susan.
Cheers.
And just so everybody knows, our pastry team put together a little tart. And of course, it's a sake drinker and friend show. There is a sake in the foam, so I hope everybody can get a tiny bite just to taste it, but they did an amazing job with it. They used a honjoso from Gunma Prefecture to go in the blend. Anyway, we'll get back to Ishishima. Cheers, Susan. Happy birthday. Feel free to dump. We have plenty of sake to taste, and we'll go around. So going back to this brewery, I landed in Tokyo at 4 in the morning, and I had an extra day. I was invited to go judge a sake and wine competition in Tokyo. So as I landed, I took the bullet train to Niigata. I spent the night in Niigata City, which was amazing. It's a fishing and agricultural town. Nobody spoke English. I forgot all the Japanese that I knew, which was 4 words.
Excellent.
And beautiful little town. Everybody was really hospitable, and as you're walking down the street, everybody bows down and really graciously greets you without having to speak anything. But the next day, Kenji Ishishima, who's the current president of the brewery, 13th generation, these guys have been in business since 1790, takes me over to the brewery, and I'll go in quick detail because I'm actually working on editing the whole video for that one, and you can see it later on. But he brings me to the brewery, and I was on the way there, I was a little concerned in a way. I didn't know what to expect, a big production facility or something completely sterile. I mean, these guys have been in business for so long and pretty good production. So as I get to the brewery and we pass all the fields, it's a little barn, and it could have been in the side of Santa Elena Highway on Silverado Trail, and it was just so much hard, very little technological advances, and that's where they've been producing the sake ever since. Aside from that, one of the first brewery to have a women toji or brewmaster to make their sake, and then so on and on and on. We can go on forever, but I want you to enjoy this one, and cheers to have you again, and then I think it'll go amazing with the next dish, and that's why we brew this one too. Cheers, guys. Thanks for coming. All right.
A little prep required on this one.
Yes, look at this dish. So of course a little behind the scenes preparation, and of course
TV magic, right?
TV magic and preparation for Chef Tyler's show that will come up at some time soon. And you want to tell us a little bit about this one, Chef?
Yeah, so we've got some compressed melons coming from the garden, figs from the garden, house cured copa, which is the center cut of the shoulder, that's been dry cured for about 8 months. The melons have been compressed with Persian lime agrumato. Agrumato is something that's been pressed together. When they're at the end of olive harvest, they'll take a lot of fruit. When you go to Italy, traditionally, a farm is not just an olive orchard. There's vineyards, there's olives, there's citrus, there's stone fruit, there's everything imaginable that the house would have needed to be able to sustain a working farm. And so at the end of harvest, they'll take all of the citrus that's still, because citrus and olive season coincide with one another, and they'll put it all in the mill together, and they'll press it, and they'll extract all the essential oils out of the juice and the pith, and it's just a fun dish, and it's a great representation of what's going on in the garden.
Thank you, sir. And it's beautiful. I mean, it really compresses, no pun intended, all what you have offering at the restaurant, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Nice. So let's see what it's all about. Let's see how it goes with the Ishishima. I'm very excited.
Not too bad on a hot day.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's interesting. I feel like I don't know if everybody else is getting this, but the meat can actually add a little bit of funkiness, and you can pick that back up in the sake. It's got a little bit of this umami. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I feel like it pulls it forward.
Totally. I feel like I don't know. We'll check with the audience later on, but I feel like the sake becomes sort of mineral, and I mean, if you start with the minerality of Niigata, where all the water comes from the runoff of the hills, the Ashigo Mountains, and pairing it with the layers of the melons and everything, I think it's really beautiful. It brings a little more minerality of it. It almost turns it, funny enough, like a Northern Italian white wine, in a way. To me, it's got the minerality, and it kind of sucks out the fruit out of the sake, and kind of makes it a little more earth in a way.
Absolutely,
Really
I
fun.
agree.
Sorry, he keeps pushing me away.
I'm sorry. I'm a large, forceful man.
You
I
are.
apologize.
Larger than life.
Yeah, it's the nature of the kitchen. Let's get real close and work it out.
Oh my God. Well, for the next one, and as I said, if you feel like spitting, unless you brought an Uber today, and all the guests watching and following drinking some sake with us, please feel free to make it educational. Next we're gonna try, because this dish, he gave me a heads up of what it is. It's very exciting. It's a little richer. And this sake, it's sort of an orthodox style. It's called taru sake, and taru means cedar. So at some point it had some contact with cedar in the fermentation or the aging, if there is any. So it brings out, and I'll let you guys taste it. On the nose, a little bit of the cedar woodsy quality to it, kind of umami. It's quite interesting, and it's sort of a specialty from certain prefectures of Japan. This one specifically, the Himezan Ichinokura, it's in Miyagi Prefecture. Has a little acidity, kind of lively, and it ends almost with a touch of sweetness, but being on a dry format, dry scheme in there. But we'll see how it works with the dish, which I'm more than excited about.
So we've got eggplant agrodolce. Agrodolce means sweet and sour in Italian. The way we cook this is we we split all the eggplant in half. We salt them, and then we pan roast them, pick them out, go in with a little bit of white wine, some balsamic, a little bit of chili flake, a little bit of mortar garlic, and then let those marinate. This is more of a cold antipasti style, something that you would see super traditionally in an antipasti bar if you were in Trapani in Sicily or anywhere throughout Puglia, Calabria, Basilicata. Very traditional Southern Italian dish.
Well, let's see without further ado. Everybody's got some taru sake? Beautiful. Oh, thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Please. Cheers, and let's see what it's all about.
It's fun.
Wow. Now that is a real challenge to pair because it's got
It's got a lot. Mm-hmm. It's just a lot. Super, super rich. Eggplant when it's cooked. It's very, like when you fry it, you pan roast it, it can get just this creamy richness to it that is unparalleled. You can get it maybe in foie gras, which is just insane to think that a vegetable could be that rich.
Wow. Wow. I think it might stand to it.
I think so.
And if you think about the taru sake, especially this one, as a short, stout guy that like it's a UFC fighter or something like that, pretty go-getter, missing an ear or something.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like rough. So you bring a big dish with all these ingredients. I mean, and a bang. I love that dish. Yeah. I can eat that all day.
Absolutely.
And this one just wrestles it to the ground. And they end up being friends at the end, right?
I think so. I think the little bit of spice really brings out a lot of the acid and rounds out the pairing very well.
Wow. Anybody opposes to the fun challenge on that pairing? No, I love that dish. So tell us again how you make it if anybody wants to make it at home.
So we cut the eggplant in half and we salt them. You got to salt eggplant for roughly 15 to 20 minutes to extract some of the liquids and some of the bitterness out of it, and then we'll rinse those off, then pan sear them in a super hot pan, only on the flesh side. Kick those out, deglaze the pan with some white wine, some balsamic vinegar, a little bit of mortar garlic, and some chili flake.
That is quite exciting. That's a bang. Hey boss, make sure you try that dish.
Yes, sir.
That is so fun. You too,
Hello,
Chris.
sir. Good to see you.
Wow. That is fun. Well, and then to cleanse up from that dish, we brought another special sake that actually we just brought in. This is made from an ancient red rice. And if I could figure this out, it's like Christmas.
Beautiful.
This is called Sakurai Maki, and it's from Tewatsuro Brewery in Akita. And as you can see, it almost looks like a rosé, and it tastes not much different than a Pinot Noir rosé, if you will. It's got a little touch of sweetness, but I think it's gonna at the end of this dish, it's gonna work out amazing. Thank you so much, Jorge. Cheers, chef.
Cheers.
Uh, Again, take a look at the sakes. Some are easier to find. You can always contact us, eduardodingler@gmail.com. You can call me at the restaurant, whatnot. And the dishes, no better place to go than Oenotri. I mean,
Thank you
give
very
me your
much.
hours again.
We are open dinners Monday through Sunday from 5:30 to 9:30 on Thursday and 10 on Friday, Saturday, and we're actually doing a pop-up right now. We're doing
that's right.
Yeah, we've got 2 of our former sous chefs who are doing a pop-up at the restaurant all month on Thursdays and Fridays from 10 on Thursday till late and 10:30 on Friday till late. Last night we went till about 1. Phenomenal
Wow.
food. They're actually doing a lot. They're
I've
doing
seen a couple posts,
world
yeah.
cuisine. The food is really killer. It's nice. They're actually from 2 different generations of the restaurant. A generation I like to think is about 3 years in the restaurant business. So it's really exciting seeing them come together.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's exciting. We got to check it
And
out.
then we're open for brunch on Saturday and Sunday from 10 until 3.
Wow.
Yep.
So there's no excuse. I mean, you
No
gotta go
excuse.
check it out.
Come
and
on
if
in.
you, I mean, Italian wine's amazing, but if sake really rocks your world, like some of us, bring a bottle of sake. I think this is real proof that you can do sake with pretty much every ingredient. And just as a quick reference, if you're gonna do like a bolognese or a lamb sugo or something richer, like a rabbit pappardelle or such, find a little richer honjoso, or look for honjoso, look for junmai, for yamahai, for kimoto. Those should be some keywords for a richer style that will stand up to a bigger tomato and meaty sauce, like kind of really animal, as we
Something
like to
that's
think.
opulent.
Even a hamburger or something, opulent.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna do something, you do crudos sometimes
All the
that are
time.
amazing
All
and
the time.
stuff. I want to take a quick picture of the audience, so everybody cheers. Thanks for joining us. That's amazing. And I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank you, Chef. And Lauren, I know
having me.
you're watching us. We want to thank you too. And everybody that's watching us over there, please raise a glass, whether you're drinking sake or beer or whatever it is at home. Cheers, guys. Thanks for coming.
Cheers.
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 Cheers, Chef. Wow, that was quick.